Welcome, welcome to our council introduction / interview. It's my great honor to introduce you all to Tata Jose, who is a Mayan cosmic timekeeper of the highest caliber. And Tata, thank you so much for not only making yourself available for this interview, but even more importantly, for helping us to co-facilitate and co-orchestrate this extraordinary eclipse gathering.
Absolutely, yeah, it's perfect timing, in a really good order, and there is so much information that should have been shared before to my knowledge, but that's one of the things that we need to work on, of acceptance that everything is in divine order at the right time, in the right space, with the right people. So I'm excited to bring this information out into the world. Yeah.
Very, very good. Yeah, there is a lot of revelation, right? We're starting to see almost like the infrastructure of our consciousness, the infrastructure of the simulation, right? That we have been sort of like living in. And before we talk about all of the amazing information that I know you will bring to the council, the 2022 council gathering, I want to just help people really understand the caliber of soul and the caliber of your incarnation that you are currently in. So what makes what makes a cosmic timekeeper? What's the difference between, let's say, somebody that is studying the Mayan calendars and an actual cosmic galactic timekeeper that which is what you represent? What's the big difference?
The key element to me is bring memories from the future and the past in this inconnection. Bring live memories of what has happened in the ancient future, what has happened in the ancient past, and to do that, you really need to start from 0 point in this beyond the mother's womb. Before you're born, you have this inner vision, inner wisdom that this is, you choose, you make a choice to come and help humanity in a very, very particular way, which is memory triggering. In other words, the magnetic fields that we carry as timekeepers are to help people recover memories from this planet. Galactic timekeeper is one who will help you recover memories that go beyond this planet, not just to the sun of the Milky Way, but to the central sun, what we call Kinichahao, the central sun of the universe. And so, yeah, that would be the main difference between a Mayan timekeeper, someone who was just was born into the lineage, or even just studying the lineage, and one who can bring the magnetic field that is necessary to recover memories, interstellar memories, not just interplanetary or intergalactic, but interstellar. And that's really, in an essence, that's the difference. And yeah, it might sound grandiose, but it's actually very simple. You just have to every day smile and keep working, increasing your aura, magnetic field. So then you walk across people, you don't even have to say a word, but the magnetic fields entangle, and then that's the trigger of that.
That you said so many different things, but before we actually kind of dive a little bit deeper, there is a what sounds like a paper sound that is coming through very, very loudly. Is it through your headset or something is?
I don't hear it, no.
You don't have a paper in front of you or anything like that? No. Okay, so there is some sort of like sound that is coming through, but you don't hear it?
I'm not hearing it now.
Okay, right now it's not there. Okay, so we have to sort of go past that. So who knows, maybe we have a Mayan transmission coming through. Right now, there is it your hair? So it does kind of sort of overlay a little bit with the with what you're saying. But let's keep going. Or do you want to? Let me just quickly ask you: Is there something we can do to the? Maybe we'll start a new recording. Is there something you can do, because it's a very loud.
I don't hear it, so
It's
your
right
end.
now. It's right now. It's like it comes from the headset.
Okay, maybe if I take the headset, then we're gonna hear the cars going by in the front street.
Yeah, it is. It comes from the headset, or it comes from the cable. Can you move the cable for the moment? Yes, yes. Oh, it's that microphone that is on your hair. Maybe we can put that someplace else. So when you move.
Oh, I see. Okay, got it. It should be fine now.
So now it's perfect. Yeah. So if you keep that.
Yeah, it was hitting this thing, and then so I can't hear it. But you can.
Yes, that's what because it was literally on the microphone kind of rattling. Okay. So I'm so sorry, but I want to start the recording fresh, because it sounded like it was an interference, and I don't want to have, because you said something very, very profound.
Don't expect me to say the same thing again, though.
No, that's perfectly fine. Yeah. But I'll ask the same question. So we'll start fresh. Give me a second, because I just want no interference here. Hello and welcome to this incredibly amazing introduction and interview to our Council Trinity, one of our Council Trinity hosts, and the key to why we're doing what we're doing, why we're coming together. My dear, dear, dear friend and soul ally, Tata Jose Munoz. He is a galactic Mayan timekeeper, not just a Mayan timekeeper in the way that you may be familiar with them. He is a galactic timekeeper, specifically really understanding the 6 sun calendar, which are the new calendars that have started after the old calendars have served their purpose, going back to December 2012. So Tata Jose, thank you so very, very much for being in my life, and also, helping us facilitate this tremendous reunion coming up in Carlsbad.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to come together across timelines and spaces and in the physical soon. Yeah, glad to be of service, girl.
Tata Jose, you and I, we met a couple years ago, and I was invited to a cacao ceremony by a local friend of ours. And I was very kind of almost like, I felt like I was in a tornado, going towards this cacao ceremony. And I was really, baffled by like, wow, this must be a really, really important encounter, because I really felt like I was going into some sort of like time warp spiral. And you talk a lot about the eternal now, where we are sort of stepping into the remembrance of our ancient future and our, futuristic past, right? And I really felt that vortex around meeting you for the very first time. And then I remember sitting with you, and as you said, like, we are all here, because we have a sacred appointment. None of us, we think we know why we're here, but ultimately, none of us really has, really, the true answer. The true answer is our consciousness really looking for that reflection in each other, and the light flickered, right? So this is what you do, is you bring people into this like galactic kind of vortex, is what it often feels for me, without doing a lot, without saying a lot either. And all of a sudden we're remembering who we really truly are. Tell us more about the eternal now, and also what's that difference between that galactic level timekeeper, which is what you are and what you represent, versus knowing the Mayan calendars.
Yeah, that's it's an extensive question. Yeah, a Mayan timekeeper is preoccupied with the daily doings of which one of the 88 constellations we have on top of us in a daily way. and giving advice to people, giving their spiritual counsel to the village or the community. A Mayan timekeeper finds purpose in this planet for him or her and the people who come with an open heart to them. Those are the Mayan timekeepers. The Mayan timekeepers that we work at a galactic level, we are preoccupied with having two perspectives, one being here on Earth, the other one being in the center of the sun. And so we see from that advantage point of view, from the center of the sun, we can see what's going on, not just in the blue planet in the distance, but around that. And a Mayan timekeeper goes every day to the ceremonial centers. A galactic timekeeper goes every day to the intergalactic or interstellar rather centers, wormholes, keyholes, black holes, so we can operate from different perspectives surrounded still the planet, because I, myself, and others are focusing to helping humanity and the people who are willing to open their hearts and their minds and their spirits to receive information that activated within them. It will be a great service, not just to them, but also to the community and humanity in general. So Mayan timekeeper preoccupied with the planet Earth, intergalactic timekeeper preoccupied with what's going on in the interstellar spectrum, which is a whole other topic.
It's beyond the mind's conception, right? But this is really how that consciousness really, how vast that is, and how these synapses, right, that we are sort of opening up when we are, for example, in cacao ceremony or fire ceremony, or you facilitate certain ceremonial processes where it happens just so effortless. It happens just so effortless, where all of a sudden, like what you are saying, these higher perspectives where it can look like traumatic on one level, and then it can look like it's all in perfect order on another, right? And you have a number of those, and you are calibrating, from those interstellar perspectives. And so as you navigate, bringing that galactic consciousness that is fully, moment by moment integrated in your human essence, right? Bringing that into the different communities that you travel to, and people that you meet, is opening up the neural nets for us to remember our, eternal soul, our galactic soul journey, and to come into that defragmented congruency, which I know is a really, really big part of the 2022 council. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit. I want to go back to that moment of your incarnation into this lifetime, because something very, very profound happened. You were born in Guatemala to a long, long, long time tribe, elders upon elders upon elders, that have administered the last Mayan color, the calendars, right? This is a calendar codex. It's a huge living kind of, integral organism, right? These calendars have been administering, if you so will, the last 260,000 years, going back to the latest version of Atlantis, is my understanding, right? And so when you came in, something very, very unusual happened. So tell us a little bit about your lineage of Mayan timekeepers, and also specifically of your mission in this lifetime.
Well, we start with the end. My mission, the why I am here, is because I know we are interstellar species. So it would be very boring for me to get up in the morning and think that, at the end of this life, that's it. So the why I do this, I know we are interstellar species. I also know we are about to go interplanetary, and after that, we're going to go intergalactic, and after that, we are interstellar. And when I'm saying this is we already are, because the eternal present, everything already happened at once. The future and the past is all here. And so having that in mind, opening the heart to that possibility that that's actually a fact, that everything is happening now, then this lifetime, as I was born, you're probably referring to you were born in the lineage of this particular Mayan tribe. People are waiting for you. They know you're coming, but there's a test that you need to pass, and that is, as you're born, they throw you in the nearest lake or river, and then you need to, if you are who they think you are, that means that you have an accumulation knowledge of lifetime. So therefore, you should know how to swim as a newborn. So you swim out of the river and you walk to the elders. And after that, they take care of you for 13 years. So that is the old way, the ancient ways, the new ways, and the future ways of receiving a interstellar or a Mayan timekeeper into the new world, because then you are an asset to the community. And then unfortunately, a lot of people also wish they were timekeepers and they came into their wrong parents, and they are wandering around with all this massive knowledge thinking they're lost. And there's also the other spectrum of the coin is parents wanted to have a timekeeper and they brought their children to the elders and they never came back from the river. So it's a beautiful thing. It's a barbaric thing. It's a beautiful ancient tradition of doing things, but I am here. And the average time of a person like me to be in this planet is 17 years. So I by far have broken all the parameters and belief systems of even my own tribe, that there is always a free will choice to continue on or to go back into the spiritual world. And so this is a tradition from my family, the Chorti tribes. We are descendants of the Vikings and the Maya people mix. This is a tradition that probably stopped in the 60s or 70s, but before that, it was 22 generations that practiced this way. So it's a very specific surgical knowledge system that we carry, and there's very few of us left in this planet, maybe less than 1,000, which is, it might sound like a lot, but in a 9 billion people planet, that's really nothing. So there's this uniqueness to the way we deliver the messages to the people. There's a uniqueness to the eloquence and the surgical direction of the words for people who are willing to listen to, for that seed to be planted in their fields, and how that they're going to use that seed of information to flourish into what later becomes, with practice, as part of the practice, part of their daily lifetimes. And again, like I said, we don't need to say anything. We just need to be in the same space with people, and memories will converge with the galactic magnetic fields that we carry.
That's very, very true. And I've experienced this firsthand. Firstly, I want to thank you for having had the resilience, right, and the determination and the passion to survive that initiation upon your birth and to walk upon your shoreline. I know that you were immediately considered, even as an infant, an elder, and were teaching, and have since then continued to be an anomaly, because like you said, you have not in a sort of unnecessary rebellious way broken away with certain traditions, but really honoring that evolution, really honoring that the traditions that brought us here, right, were much more designed for a finite system, and we're going infinite. We're going from finite to infinite, right, to that interstellar remembrance. And that is a kind of a puzzle. It's like it's a remembrance journey where all of this defragmentation that's happened across time and space, right, is coming into that congruency, and you literally, in a good way, trigger that remembrance, right? You sort of like find yourself oftentimes at the right time, at the right place, helping people to go like, whoa, you know, who am I really? And what's really, really happening, right? What would you say is the biggest gift that comes out of that remembrance, that coming, becoming more whole? And why is this so important that we're really kind of focusing on when we're seeing something that we're not initially understanding, that we're focusing on like, what is it actually making me feel inside? Why is this so important right now?
The biggest gift to me um, is the realization of the fact that you either evolve or perish, you either service or suffer. And one might think, well, those are not really gifts, but it's the realization of that. Then you only do service, you only practice happiness, you only practice what is for the highest good of it all, not just for you, but for the leaf, and for the human, for the planet. So before you get to the realization of I need to service or suffer, before you get to the realization I either evolve or die, there is like this 5-part portals, if you will, or events that happen in your life. And the first one of them is you come to a place of balance. And after balance, you come to a place of unity. Unity within yourself, because a lot of people don't understand or don't know, they forgot that in the intergalactic wars, they left pieces of them scattered across the universe. They left pieces of the spirit scattered across the universe. So coming into unity, calling all the shades of you and honoring who you are, all the shades of you into unity. And then after unity is, you know, you become into a space of peace, peace within your heart, but also peace with everything that exists. So, you know, you have balance, unity, peace. And then you come into interstellar space of harmony, where you realize that you have purpose in this life, and all you have to do is keep breathing. How beautiful is that? You know, and when you come to a state of balance, unity, joy, peace, and harmony, then you understand truly that you are what we know in this language as eternal or immortal. Then this life is precious, yes, but you're not attached to it. You remember that you don't need to be attached to anything or anyone. And when you're in that state of mind of balance, unity, joy, peace, and harmony, then you truly are to be of service to yourself first and then to others. So in an essence, it's a 7-part gift that comes with these ways of practicing. There's 5 archetypes that you become, and then after that, you really understand, oh, if I don't do any of these beautiful things, which I love, I'm gonna suffer. So why not just keep doing beautiful things and epic things and amazing things, because that's gonna keep you going as long as you practice your memory triggering around the world, your purpose. And so in essence, to me, this is what brings me joy, balance, unity, peace, and harmony, is to be a messenger. It's a simple job to me, and I just deliver every time.
It's so profound. Can you tell us the 5 archetypes, the 5, and these are, by the way, these are the new Mayan cosmic archetypes, right, of the 6 sun calendars. So these are basically not just words for us as the awakening humanity that we represent. These are vibrational, almost like codexes or vibrational frequency bands. That's kind of like what it feels like. It's like an architecture. So share with us the 5 archetypes that we are remembering to embody.
as balance, unity, joy, peace, and harmony. So it's kind of like a mantra. So in the old days in the Western world, there was this other mantra that I caught my attention long ago. The mantra was "Oh me, why me, poor me, why me." That was the mantra in the old paradigm.
Suffer, suffer, persecution.
Yeah. I was trying to point a finger to others, except when you point a finger, you're really pointing at yourself. It's all within you, So the old mantra of why me, poor me, why me, that's that.
Victim,
So
victor. Yes, exactly.
yeah,
The old duality.
if
Mhm.
you coming into this console, yeah, that's not allowed. But 100% of taking responsibility of what we think, what we feel, what we say, and what we create. That's another big part of that message is, yeah, remember that you create from feeling. Before the thought comes, there's a feeling that brings that thought. So start creating from the feeling of happiness is a good practice. Instead of creating when you're angry or you're sad or any of the other emotional, they're all beautiful emotions that you need to deal and get through them. But when you create, please start creating from the feeling of happiness. You feel it, you think it, you speak it, and then it appears in the 3D world. So utilizing these gifts, bringing these messages to people, this is what keeps you smiling, and that's really what a timekeeper is. Bring purpose to itself, himself, herself, and then help others bring the information to others so they can make a choice to, it's one way of many ways to be useful in this planet. And as my mother will say, stop wasting oxygen.
I love it. I love it. You come from some really strong tribal energy there. So yeah, as a timekeeper, you you are here to help us not only return into balance as humanity, but as a planetary, intergalactic, interstellar system with all of the different realms that we have in inner Earth and all around us. I mean, there's so many different dimensions, even to our sort of the world that we live in. Like when we're really stepping outside of the little mind box that we've been playing and the little teeny little play box. You have had a very, very early on in your career, you've had a very, very big, shall we say, rise to fame. You posted a huge peace conference. It was at the time the largest peace gathering, right? Tell us a bit more about how that came about, and what your mission has now evolved to, which is more sort of earth based. But let's also acknowledge really that huge accomplishment of yours with the peace conference.
Yeah, it was. I had a meeting with a young woman, and when we shook hands, she said, "Hi, I heard you work for peace. I have this idea. My name is Confucius." And when she said that she was Confucius, there was no doubt in one cell of my soul, my physical body absolutely understood that I was speaking to Confucius. So we did create this network of 40,000 volunteers to bring 500,000 people inside and around the Olympic Stadium in Seoul in South Korea. And the idea was to prepare humanity to receive peace, be able to consider the possibility that we are going into a peaceful time, a abundance time. Mm-hmm. And so we did that in a very, very fast way, very stylish way, where we had our own airplanes bringing elders and political leaders, religious leaders from all over the world to come together and pray for peace. So if I hadn't been a timekeeper, if someone comes to you and say, I'm Confucius, 9 out of 10 people are going to say you're crazy. And that's it. It ends there. And
And then
you're a timekeeper, then say, yes, good to see you again. You know, what are you gonna do
how have
now?
you been? How have you been? It's just been a galactic minute.
Where have you been? You know, so having that perspective, that's the goal of seeing everyone as an amazing interstellar traveler, because we're here
We
for
are.
that reason.
Yes.
So seeing all the virtues in a package in a little person, it helps so much because we are mirrors, you know. So when you see someone with love, you're getting the love twice because there's two mirrors in front of you.
Oh, I love
When
it.
you when you see someone with epicness, with just dear sister, dear brother, I see you, they're gonna see you back twice. So that was the it was to me there's bigger things coming, but that was big, you know.
And what year was that? That was 2005, if I recall.
It was 2014, 15, 16.
Oh, 2000.
So we did it for 3 years, but just in the Olympic Stadium alone, there was 130,000 people, where in the stadium there's only capacity for 80,000 people. So it was a massive convergence of time travelers and divine everything. All cultures, all religions, all political leaders converged to pray for a single thing, which was, let's get ready for peace. Let's pray for peace. And so that was big. And like I said, if you open your heart to understand how amazing you are, there's no limits, really. But it begins with having no fear, being fearless, not necessarily careless, but fearless. Know that you can actually do anything in this spectrum of perception that we have in our heads. So with that, I really want to invite you to come and visit the next big thing that I am co-creating. We are creating a Mayan corridor here in Los Angeles. It's coming into reality soon. It's something, it's huge in interstellar time and space vision. We are recreating the Mayan world here in the middle of downtown Los Angeles. So for those of you, this is breaking news. It's not out there yet, but I am, as a co-creator and leader of all the details of what's going to happen in Los Angeles, you're invited to come and see the breaking ground in during the portals of 2/22
That's
February.
incredible. Wow, I didn't know that. This is like, yeah, this is like the first time you are announcing this, like to your trusted community. Wow. So tell us a bit more what this involves, and then also what are the Mayan Dreamcatcher installations all about? Because you received a couple years ago this download, right? That in order to assist humanity to remember, which of course, you know, is that sort of like, you know, sort of actual sort of almost like metaphysical, right? It is a metaphysical remembrance of like our super skills, our superpowers that allow us to thrive through these daring times. You were given this download to actually install physical dream catcher, almost like tippies. Like these are like places. We have helped you build one here in Phoenix. We have seen the rise of many of those installations in New Mexico and Nevada, East Coast, et cetera, et cetera. But you're also doing something that is related in New York City, in Los Angeles, as you just mentioned. What are these Mayan Dreamcatcher installation about, and why are they so important? What happens when a person spends some time in these installations?
Two things. The Mayan Corridor is an actual reconversion, completely renovating a 6-block part of the city of Los Angeles into a Mayan world. It's it's a massive project that I've been working on for a long time, and now it has come to reality where it's there, about to be the groundbreaking start in February. So that's one project that I'm working with the governments of this country and federal, state, and city officials for this to happen. The other thing is the Mayan dream catchers is
Wow.
what we call that Mayan Calendar dream catcher manifestation station, which is an actual building where people can come in and build the dreams from within. It's a technology that was gifted to us not as a download, but as a mission, an option to bring to humanity after we run from Alaska, from Chicxulub, Alaska. You're hearing correct. We run from Alaska to Guatemala. It takes 7 months, and we run from the South Pole of Ushuaia in Argentina to Guatemala. And at the end of the 26,000-year cycle, we had a 9-day festivity with the elders where when I'm saying elders, I'm talking about the animals and the humans, and we converge. And after 9 days of not sleeping and just festivities and catching up with people from different spectrums of the galaxies, jaguars came from the jungles and sat with us and talked with us and gave us the prophecies of the new world, which it's a very large document, but for me, it was about the female nation will lead us all into interstellar harmony. That's what the jaguars told us. That's what the elders told us. And then the other part is you, Jose, you have the opportunity to build Mayan calendars around the world, where in the future will serve as a navigating system for the future ships coming in. So this is what I bring in the information, the mathematics to the community, and then the community decides if they want to accept such a thing. Because, yeah, a manifestation station is not just any place. You really go there and you do your work. How open you are to manifest, how quickly, how in a good way, in a really beautiful way, you can bring what is needed for yourself and for humanity. So we have built 11 of those across the land so far. There's 50 of them scheduled to be built between now and 2036 here in the US. And the rest of them, in a total, is 144 of them that are going to be built around the world. But first, we need the 50 here in the US and Canada. And after that, we transfer across the oceans. So those are the things that Mayan calendar manifestation station. Those are what we call the transportals. It can be the 33 feet diameter. It can be one in the wall, or it can be one in your hands. Still the same technology to bringing manifestation to you, to the one who is willing to accept that technology. So it's a lot of virtue, a lot of power, a lot of control, and the same amount of accountability and responsibility for what you're doing. So it's not for everyone. It's not for every city, but only for the ones that have been chosen from the ancient future. And that's where we're one of the missions. And again, all of this is simply because of the why. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Because I know we are interstellar species. We're about to go into planetary, and we're about to go into galactic. And to do that, we are currently working with scientists from around the world, but specifically one scientist from.
Did you say Mantis or Santis?
Scientists.
Scientist.
Yeah, with that we are building this navigational system to go 15,000 cubic light years distance, so we can go interstellar pretty soon.
Wow.
So that's another piece of information.
But we're definitely out of Kansas. You all were definitely no longer in Kansas. So just to summarize these Mayan manifestation centers, you also said that they are humanoid reset stations. And so that basically means that we are recognizing our galactic inheritance inside of our consciousness. So even though we have our human body vehicles, where we are recognizing that we are to some degree, star brothers, star sisters, we come from different planetary systems. And so these Mayan installations, these rooms, they have a copper wire, right? And they have certain mathematics where when you spend some time underneath them, and we've had the great privilege to be at this Mayan timekeeper reset station a number of times in fire ceremony and what have you. There is something really that is beyond words. You just walk in there and all of a sudden these 5 archetypes are becoming operational. We're all coming into a frequency, into a congruency from which we then can actually anchor the future that we wish to experience, because we are all ready to not have this destructive, recurrence happen, and we need to break the pattern, right? And that means opening up to new pathways in our being, in our consciousness.
I'm thinking about, as you're speaking, I'm like making a tour of you and I at and Leslie and everybody else that was there, building the Infinity Dream Catcher in Mesa, Arizona. Everybody, if you're ever in the US, if you're ever here in Arizona,
Yes.
please let us know. That these are real spaces where it's not your average space.
It really is
But
not.
it's open to the public. It's open to everyone. The spirits, your spirit will guide you to come to these spaces and not only enjoy the beauty of the holders of these spaces, but also truly take that technology with you to home. And this is one of the things that I really want to emphasize at the console is become a transporter. Remember how to be not just a time jumper or a timekeeper, but a transporter. Bring the portal with you wherever you go.
Bring
I hope,
bring the goods, exactly.
yeah.
I remember the last time we were there, remember the 2 hummingbirds that were doing the infinity loop over our sort of roofs as we were just completing the fire ceremony. We had these hummingbirds.
Yeah, and the hummingbirds actually represent what we call these are interstellar spaceships that we're also building here on Earth. We're building one called the Terra Knight Hummingbird 13, which is, you're familiar with it. You took it to Chile and the last council. So we're building these spaces for humanity to come and remember. That's really what we're doing. It's a choice to come and really go beyond the boundaries that religion and education have put you in a box. Go beyond the box, because that's not really who you are when you're just obeying and following rules. Yeah, we need to do that wherever we are. We need to honor the rules of the land, but also the interstellar rules that we have within us is really only 2. It's just trust and respect. So come out of the box, come with us and play at a different field.
Fantastic. So you mentioned earlier that when you were looking at the mathematics, right? Because you're looking really at the constellation from not just from the traditional Mayan calendar perspective, but also from that perspective of that 6 sun, central sun, galactic perspective. You said that there is a lot of information that we kind of need to also get familiar with, because things are going to go very, very quick, is what I'm sensing with 2022 and 2023. We will look out of the windows and go like, whoa, where are we? Right? Where are we? So can you share already a little bit of that, of the mathematics, and also perhaps what you can, from what you can see right now already, what may be the most important thing for us to remember as we're also journeying? People will be flying, driving from different places as we're gathering in the flesh. What are some of the sort of the mathematics or the contemplations that you want to share with everyone?
Really, the number one for this particular space and throughout life, really, but it's important to be okay, to be grounded, and also be okay when we're not so grounded, because all of us have different upbringings, different perceptions. So it's really the mathematics of this particular council, and to me is always the three, the number three. You know, be okay with who you are, be okay with being grounded, but also be okay with being up in the ethers. You know, just know that it's okay, and as long as you keep that in mind, there's really a lot of good information in the ground, but there's also really good information in the ethers. So I would say, if you want to practice anything between now and the time when we come together in the physical, wherever you are, wherever part of the world, that would be okay with who you are. Be okay, grounded, and etherically. It's important to honor all shades of us. Yeah.
Three is a really big numerology for me. It's the mathematics of change, dynamism,
Mhm, mhm.
flexibility, mobility, like thinking on your feet, like being okay in the change. And there is a stability in that dynamic change.
And also the other equation that we have to work with in this particular timing space all the way to March next year is that the frequency of 369 is very important to honor the frequency of the earth, to understand where we are. You know, it's important to know your surroundings, where we are. So focusing on that particular number will be a really good asset for us from now all the way through March of next year, which is the time of Renaissance that we call it. In the Mayan world, we call it the Renaissance of the New World. For some reason, we always collaborating with the French language. The Renaissance of the New World starts officially in the turn of now, but more for everyone in March of next year.
March of next year. Interesting. The Renaissance. Well, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Well, is there anything else in closing that you feel like would be really juicy to share? We have certainly tapped into a lot of, personally, also a lot of our sort of lifetimes that we've had. I'm so deeply, deeply grateful to have collaborated with you in very sort of experiential, explorational ways, right? And I look forward to continuing to do that. This is not our first time of playing a little bit with the unknown as well, right? Playing with the unknown as well, and also really, like you said, remembering to have fun.
Always smile. To me, it's the number one practice. Get up and smile and be grateful for the air you breathe. But also, yes, may your relationship with the elements, your actual ancestors, so the waters, the ether, the fire, the air, and the earth, be reset and reconnected wherever you are. Understand that importance of your existence at this time, and may you find your own technology from within to be who you are and excel and thrive in this beautiful chaotic times that we're living in.
Oh, that's a beautiful, beautiful blessing. And then in closing, everyone, as we are going through along, and even also For those of you that are joining us virtually and will not be able to meet Tata Jose in person, you will all have opportunities to book Mayan cosmology readings with him, which are extraordinarily life-changing, paradigm-changing, because he is going to find the keyholes in your mathematics that will definitely open up these new potentials and allow you to thrive through the chaotic times that we're entering. Tata Jose, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart and being, and from yeah, my also interstellar self, that I once again have this great privilege to journey with you. I love you so much. Thank you
Love
so
you.
very, very much, Tata.
Matiashtak. Matiashnan.
See you soon.
See you soon.